I'm Isyander.
And I'm Koda.
And today we're going to be continuing a much requested topic.
Yes?
Yes, we've done one episode on, two now, technically, because patrons got their episode, as usual. But we're going to be continuing to cover SCPs.
SCPs?
Because a lot of people had a lot of recommendations, because there's a lot of them.
Things that they like to see secured, contained, and protected.
I'm going to be honest, some of them don't need to be secure, contained, and protected.
Yeah.
But, like, you should still, you know what I mean?
I feel like a 999 needs to be protected at all costs.
Yeah, exactly. That's Tickle Mouse.
Maybe not securely contained, but protected.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cute one. It's like the marketable plushie of the universe, so it's perfectly
the
fine.
little cinnamon roll guy, a little adorable, little morph-looking orange jello cup.
No, who doesn't like it?
Yeah. It's just a blob of hugs.
Honestly, my favorite things they contain are not necessarily the most dangerous things, but the we probably shouldn't leave that in the street in Idaho, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know exactly what I mean? Like the true anomalies where it's like, probably shouldn't.
I mentioned it in the first
probably
video.
Shouldn't leave this out.
I mentioned it in the first video. You still haven't played Control.
No.
You should.
Everyone recommends it.
One of my favorite things in Control is like the mailbox that isn't malicious. It just puts out infinite amounts of mail.
Yeah, and it's like somebody should probably keep that somewhere. We should not leave that running around.
And then there's the rubber ducky that just kind of like goes malicious and disappears anything that enters the room with it.
Is it like a Weeping Angel situation where you got to look at it?
No.
Okay, because I was gonna say
you just like I think it's purely vibes based.
Okay. There's a Vibes Rubber Ducky. Sure, why not? I need to play that game.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
But yeah, I
need to finish the DLCs for that game.
Has DLC?
Yeah, it's deck verified though, so, and I can moderately attest to that. You need to play with some of the settings, but yeah, you can play it on deck.
Okay, so we're going to be covering a bunch that were asked for by you, and we're going to start actually with one that you caused.
I caused a question?
Yes, you caused this one to be recommended several times because you asked. They obviously have Cthulhu, right?
They obviously have Cthulhu, right?
They obviously have Cthulhu.
They obviously have Cthulhu.
As a teenager.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, this one is really, really amusing. There's really good art of them too, but it is not hard confirmed it's Cthulhu, don't get me wrong. However, it is real similar. It's real. It's got the same aesthetic.
Tentacle mouth, octopus head.
A bit too big, you know. Yeah. Not the scale of Cthulhu.
Cthulhu is Cthulhu. I feel like Cthulhu presents at whatever size is scariest to you.
Yeah.
Which means if he appeared Barbie doll sized and that scared you, that's what would happen.
This one's about like Primarch size, so like 13 meters, 13 feet.
13 feet.
13 feet.
That's about 1.5 meters, right?
Certainly not. It's like 4.
Oh. As you can tell, I'm from the United States of America. Our public education system is very good.
You just didn't use metric at all.
We also didn't use metric.
It shows.
I wish we did. I wish I got a scale for it because it is better.
I still have metric in my head because I still remember vaguely how long sharks are, and so we just stack sharks in my head.
Are you sharking me?
No.
Oh, okay.
That
was the best way I could censor that.
It doesn't even work. Anyway, he gets a regular bedroom, actually. It's a fully regular bedroom with a newspaper and a video game budget. And a computer. I'm not even joking. Now, I will say, this was written a little bit ago, $50 for computer games. He could be patient. He could be patient like me. He could like see a game and go, that's very neat.
I'll buy it on 10% sale.
I will see you in exactly 1 year when you are either no longer a buggy mess or are at least 10% off.
Steam has sales every season.
Yep. So maybe that's how he makes the $50 budget work. Maybe. Or maybe he saves up for 2 months to get the newest COD. I don't know. But yes, he does have a full allowance and gets to play whatever he wants, and he does get the daily news. And that is his containment procedures.
Listen, that's.
He's classified as Keter, by the way.
That can't be realistic because a teenager reading the news doesn't make any sense.
I say teenage Cthulhu. It's just not Cthulhu fully developed. Yeah, it's not, I couldn't say it's a child.
This Cthulhu has a video game budget.
Yeah, exactly. Video game budget. It's great. Video game budget, local news. It's fantastic, and it is a Keter class thing, so it is not like safe. It's super not safe, actually. So you may be wondering, that doesn't sound like the typical containment procedures, you know? Because, like, typically the Keter class stuff is very specialized.
Yeah.
It is unique to this. It is extensive. It is complex. It usually involves a lot of D-class disposable employees working on this.
When I was reading and doing a little bit of wiki reading during the last Patreon, or while editing the last Patreon video, there was talk of like the lock test of like if we were talking about 999, so the phrase given was, if you imagine the lock test, imagine its category was, it is the lock.
What do you mean? You're gonna have to explain that.
Like, I didn't read the full lock test, but I was gathering just like, what would you need to like contain, or like how contained is this? And like, I imagine the lock test is, like the lowest category, the lock is fully locked, the key is thrown away, right? The second tier is like, okay, there's the lock, and it can be picked. And then the third tier is, it's cracked, it could just get open. And then the fourth category, which 999 was in, was just like, it's the lock.
It's the lock itself.
It's the lock itself.
This one's unique containment is not actually within. It's little like space at all. It gets a shower too and everything. Like it's a nice little dig. It's a good little apartment it gets.
It's keeping it happy so it doesn't want to escape.
No.
Oh,
actually,
really?
All of its security is pointing outwards. All of it. There's a constant task force fully waiting for anything to try and get into this enclosure, and they will use maximum force on it.
Do they want... Is this a Cthulhu that is, like, unaware of its own power, so they don't want somebody to corrupt it?
Oh, it's aware of it.
Oh.
It's fully aware of it. It does not like this fully. Because what happens is, part of what this task force does is they watch the globe for religious movements that are worshiping him. Because every month, like clockwork, somewhere a cult starts worshiping him.
Of course.
Like, it
is Cthulhu. That just kind of happens.
Yep. And so every month, on the month, a cult somewhere will begin worshiping him. Also, on top of that, about like 5% of Gen Pop, when they meet him, will just be compelled. Like, they will immediately feel like, I know everything he wants at any given moment, and I'm compelled to
I'm pledged to servitude at the base of my very soul.
Yep. And that is just about 5. So even when they bring new people in, they have to watch them closely, because...
Who knows when they might suddenly just
1 in 20 is
go wacky.
Yep. And so these people in cults all across the world, or like in his own containment unit, will constantly come and break in and try and meet their god, and they've never heard of him.
I see.
Like, this is a fully well-contained information hazard. They have no way of knowing about him. They have no idea how this works.
It just kind of suddenly happens.
And these are people with no like real ties to each other either. It's not like a family. It's utterly random.
It's just like someone in a random smattering of the globe suddenly says, I need to take a solo cup, 2 sponges, and a rubber surgical glove to a random...
I have to stick up for him. He's not that bad. What? You were joking? But unfortunately... you're not far off from what they do. Because a couple have broken in, and it's the most unhinged nonsense. I can't describe...
He needs a Diet Coke right now! Please let me in!
I wish it was that simple. It is the most unhinged... I can't describe half of what they're doing. It's just a lot of fluids. Yeah. And this is a regular problem. This is a regular problem, that they break in and start redecorating his walls with new colors. Yeah.
All of them?
All of them. Every single one.
Icky.
Every single one. And this is across the board, no matter what. He wishes they'd bring him Diet Cokes. That's the funniest thing about this. He hates this.
I don't want these.
And this is why I gotta stick up for him. He's a normal-ish Eldritch Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, we have logs from when they've broken in, and like they're doing all this nonsense. He's like, oh, gee, please, come on, that's not necessary. Please.
Can you bring me a rag to clean this up at the very least?
Yeah, the guy's gone, Jesus Christ, I just took a shower.
Your god has requested a mop and a bucket, please. That's all I want.
And he's tried that, but they don't listen. Yeah. Yeah. He hates this. He hates this so much, and it keeps
instead of bringing a mop and bucket, one of the random like worshippers is just like, no, you don't need that. What you need is my 25-minute indie goon video.
Yeah. and like you think this is just like typical standard issue, like cult breaking and yada yada. These are complex plans. They've broken in from below, they've disguised themselves as staff and gotten in. Like, it's kind of Spec Ops stuff.
They go full Underminer.
Yeah, fully. And this poor guy he just doesn't want any, to quote him, he's not even ready to settle down with a cult yet. He's less than 200 years old. It's so well done. It's so well done.
That's so funny.
He absolutely hates this. Though recently there has been a development because he was able to get them to stop. Not breaking in, but just stop.
Doing whatever that is.
That pile. Like, just stop. Please just stop. So he's getting a little better with his powers, but that's... That is, it's not Cthulhu, but like, come on. It's basically Cthulhu.
It's a teenage Cthulhu,
yeah. And so from something that we know very, very well, something that was frequently requested and we know nothing about, 055.
055.
This one is one I'm going to refer to only as numbers, and you're going to have fun editing because you could put any image here. Like, every time you mention it, feel free to put anything up.
Okay.
Literally anything.
Is this the part where I give like people concerns that they have schizophrenia? Like, did I see that right? Is that really what this thing is?
I will leave that up to you.
Sure.
What you need to know is it is contained in a 5 by 5 by 2.5 meter room made of concrete. It's got blast doors on it. And nobody is stationed outside of its cell, and everybody just generally has to stay away from this.
So nobody knows what it looks like.
And they have it in a Faraday cage, just to be extra safe. And nobody knows what it is.
It's something. And it's something that occupies a 5 by 5 by 2.5.
How it got there.
What do you mean how it got there?
They don't know.
It just appeared? The room appeared with it?
Maybe. Nobody knows who acquired it, how it was contained, why these procedures are in place. Nobody knows anything about it.
God, you love control.
Would I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's how the oldest house appears.
Yep. just nobody, and here's the weird thing. It's perfectly safe to look at. Like, you can go look at it, take pictures, draw. You can do anything you want. But the second you stop directly looking at it, you just forget.
It just is gone.
Yep, they've had people looking at it for 8 hours a day straight as a shift, and it may as well have been severance because they don't remember their day.
They unsever the moment they stop looking at it.
Yep.
This is funny.
Yep. And
so maybe it's the cube itself.
And this is something in a black site with other dangerous somethings, and we don't know how it got there or what it is and what to do with it. And how we even captured it. And we have no notes on it. And if you try to research it at all, you are stricken with effectively the strongest variant of ADHD possible.
Oh, cool.
Like, you will not be able to keep focus on this task. It's a guarantee. Your mind will just wander off.
The part where I forget to eat for 12 hours and then realize, oh God, I haven't eaten all day, and then eat everything at once. Yeah.
That's the one. Well, I was thinking more like the brief jaunt into something and then 5 hours pass.
Oh, yeah.
That is exactly what researching. Like, there is data on it.
Let me fire up Civ for just 20 turns, and then it's 5 a.m.
I feel called out. Yeah,
It's okay. I started off calling myself out.
they have tons of data on it. There's no shortage on it. This thing has been under CCTV constantly in a Faraday cage and does not seem to want to leave. And we don't know.
It's something.
We have no idea.
It could be that Fallout 4 Pit Boy, right?
It could. We have no idea. The only saving grace is doesn't seem to want to leave.
That's at least good.
Yep.
Could it even? Because is there a door on this 5x5 by 2.5 meter
blast doors?
Oh, yeah.
So we assume it's capable
leave.
of breaking down non-blast doors if it wanted to.
Probably.
Maybe. What we do know is what it isn't. That is the one thing. Like, if you ask somebody just seconds after they see it, they can confirm it's like not a sphere. That's the best they got.
Okay.
It's not round.
That's it.
And even then, that goes into the massive heap of data they have that they cannot access. So, I mean, they can. They just...
Imagine, if you would, a non-round 055. Impossible.
Yep. Next up is going to be 49.
Okay.
The Plague Doctor.
The Plague Doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, the Plague Doctor.
Yeah, this one's real popular.
Yeah.
It's very, very,
It's
very
a Plague
popular.
Doctor. You could just make art of it. It's a Plague Doctor.
Yeah. He's also...
You could grab, like, old art from the Renaissance and, oh, look, it's this guy.
Yeah, yeah. And he kind of is contained like a regular Plague Doctor. It's just a normal human cell in sedation with restraints on. And every time you move, you got to move him. Like, you know, like when they're moving like Supermax prisoners in like every movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say this?
What?
How they moved Luigi.
Oh.
You know,
yeah,
like the image of like just one
like
person
chained, hands chained.
Like
to
he may
his...
as well have been Hannibal Lecter. You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, okay. Hannibal Lecter is different.
Like
because
Hannibal Lecter's excessive, yeah, because he's got
Luigi.
really...
They moved about New York City with hands chained to his waist and then chained to his legs. Hannibal, they like fully like
restrain
like
with the
bondage strap him up and then put like the weird mouth thing on him, and then they put him on a what's it called? Hands. Lift? No, not lift.
Not everybody knows how he's moved. You don't need to name it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's a hand cart something.
Everybody knows.
Yeah,
literally.
It's the thing.
Everybody knows.
It's the thing that you put a bunch of boxes on and it's like a big L-shaped and then you tilt it backwards and now all the boxes are on the L-shape.
And so like it requires a lot of force, right? But it's not like the typical organizations just keep a laser trained on it and be ready to obliterate it if it moves wrong. It's just, you know,
strap it in.
Just strap it in, you know, make sure it doesn't break out. Don't use excessive force, just use elevated force.
Okay.
And
what does it do if it escapes containment? Does it just like attempt to balance your humors by bleeding you dry?
No, he's pretty nice most of the time. He's pretty cooperative. And if he does get a little hog wild, the smell of lavender calms him down.
I was just about to mention the lavender. Yeah.
So if you whip out the lavender, he's usually like that. Just brings.
He like sticks that in his beak. He goes, and then he calms down.
Well, you wish it was a mask.
Oh, that's his face.
It's chitin.
Ooh.
Yeah. They've X-rayed it. It's just.
It's a bony extension of his own face.
Yep.
That's icky.
So icky. And the Plague Doctor.
So it actually was more like he's sticking the lavender up his nose, and that's it.
And the whole Plague Doctor outfit, thick hide.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's its skin?
Yeah. And he has an allowance too.
What is this allowance? It's going to concern me, isn't it?
One large mammal.
Every
2 weeks.
Don't like where this is going.
Well, he's a doctor. You know, like doctors need to work on stuff.
Yeah, they need like to test subjects, and so I imagine this thing just mutilates that animal.
Yeah, his whole gimmick is really just the medieval Plague Doctor. He takes notes. He does do procedures. He is fluent in English, French, and I think Italian too.
I'd imagine like ancient Italian.
No. It's just French and English.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
French and English, but yeah,
it's like 1400s, maybe like 1300s Italian or something.
No. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. I really wouldn't.
He's a Plague Doctor after all,
and his whole thing is curing what he sees as the pestilence.
Is the pestilence in the room with us now?
Maybe.
Oh, well, that's concerning.
It is simply referred to as the pestilence. It is the disease to end all diseases, and we don't know what it is, really. Like, to the average observer, he just seems like a serial killer. Because his treatments usually involve vivisection.
Yeah.
But...
Scalpel. Scalpel.
But...
Scalpel.
There is...
Yet another scalpel.
Yeah, there is...
Nurse, scalpel.
Scalpel, 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 scalpel.
There is the pestilence that he apparently sees, and trust me, it's certainly just not a rampage.
This is Rampage.
Yep. Well, not to him. Genuinely not. I mean, he does, again, he modifies the people he happens to attempt to cure, and he does take notes. He does do an autopsy after. He is attempting to learn what the...
He does an autopsy after.
Yeah.
Like, we're like stretching the definition of this when your biopsy becomes an autopsy because they died during the biopsy.
It's still medical. It's still medical, so it counts.
We're kind of like blurring the line between those two operations. Like you can
We're
kind
gonna
of
blur it even further.
You can kind of like diphthong blend from one operation to the other. When listen, the point of passing happened during the biopsy. This is now an autopsy.
What about the point of unpassing? Because he does tend to also reanimate these people.
That's
somehow.
Scary. Because I would not like to be in the condition I imagine his patients are in.
Thankfully, no higher brain functions.
Okay.
Basic responses to stimuli.
So brain.
And any personality they seem to have before the cure is gone. Like he basically just zombies them. That is it.
Is the pestilence consciousness?
I mean, maybe they do have some biological functions.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Eat, sleep, repeat?
Well, it's more like eat, sleep, but not have 3 hands thanks to the doctor.
That's what I said when I was like, I wouldn't want to wake up in the state I imagine he leaves his patients
or
in.
like your head's just upside down, or organs are just jigsawed around. Yep.
This thing isn't human. It does have a bone, a chitinous growth for a face.
And a jar of humors.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to leave an average human in the state that it started in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and a cartoon bag. Like the cartoon, like the cartoon doctor's bag that is like a bag of holding. So the amount of space within is far greater than like it should reasonably be. He has pulled like things out of that bag that cannot fit.
Like a full person.
Like a full stretcher. Like it's kind of really funny. Like he could pull a Chevy Caprice out of the thing. There's no correlation between its exterior size and its interior volume. None whatsoever we have been able to observe. Yeah.
He pulls Steve-O in his heyday out to source his laughing gas.
Oh, he's got plenty of that.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of that. So they did try for the longest time to learn what the pestilence is, So and thankfully he's fluent in multiple languages. So they did actually try and talk to him, and that's how this deal was struck up, where it's like, well, you're not getting people, but we can find a cow. Like we can ship you a cow.
Can you perform your operations on cattle?
And he's not
sure
happy about it.
It's something.
Because animals don't seem to have the pestilence at the same rate, but
So the pestilence actually is consciousness and free will.
Well, he got an orangutan once, and that made him very happy. So maybe not.
Well,
Though he couldn't reanimate it.
Orangutans aren't unconscious. They do.
Again, he could not reanimate the orangutan.
That's weird. It's odd.
Yep. And that really seemed to bum him out. Like it's a
little
stumbling block in his research. And like again, he genuinely seems to want to help people. He just doesn't seem to understand a bone saw is not the most helpful approach to that.
Send this man back to like the 1800s, he'd make a wonderful doctor.
Yep. Oh, dude, I love it because they will bring up like, hey, by the way, that guy's no longer with us because of you. And they'll go, yes, well, the cure is not perfect, but it is what it is. It is ye old doctor who like takes a sip of your piss and hits you with a mallet. You're good now.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
Or reacts to any injury with an amputation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Immediate amputation.
So he'd make a wonderful doctor in the 1800s.
Yep.
Let's not use any antiseptic. Let's just chop your leg off.
Yeah.
Listen, a tiny scratch or maybe even like a minor musket shot wound. No antiseptic. Just the leg's gone. Bye.
Yep.
Sorry.
Dude, doctors back in the day had to be.
Oh, we also don't have any anesthesia.
Yeah.
So take a shot of whiskey and that's your.
Dude, doctors
that's
back
your
in the day
anesthetic.
had to be so. They had to have higher rates of PTSD than anybody else because imagine surgery minus the sleepy go bye-byes, like because that's how it was for a very long time.
They'd just knock you out.
Oh, would they just concuss you? Because I've read many a Civil War novel that confirms that they were certainly awake for a lot of that.
Field doctors, yeah, you have
Okay.
PTSD.
Yeah.
But like surgeon doctors, no, you
They
just
had Tom with a mallet ready.
you bonk him on the head. And
A
then,
concussion's better than being awake for this.
these were the same doctors who you couldn't tell to wash their hands because I'm an educated, sophisticated individual. By telling me that I need to wash my hands before sticking them in someone whose stomach cavity is open, you're telling me I'm dirty. And you know who's dirty? The pores. I'm not the pores. I'm a doctor. God damn it.
The fact that this is a debate for so long never ceases.
Yeah,
to
you know
amuse me.
what doctors did to the first guy to suggest, hey, maybe we should wash our hands. And
Didn't
use
they
antiseptic.
ostracize him and like not disbar him?
No, they just barred him.
No, that's the legal one. There's a medical one.
Yeah, well, they did the medical version.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
disbarring
yeah,
him.
exactly. That's what I mean.
They threw him in a
Lunatic.
yeah. No, actually,
I know.
they threw
I
threw
said
him
that.
in for very frivolous terms, the loony bin, and he got beat to death by the security guards there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
For suggesting wash hands.
No. He got beaten half to death, and then one of the wounds they inflicted was
Got
infected, which is so ironic and so unfortunate for him.
If there's an afterlife, I hope he gets just I told you so's to this day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
this
No, he
day.
gets to scream at those doctors that put him
Yeah.
in there. I told you so. I literally died from the thing I suggested exists. Germs, they're everywhere. They're on you. They're on me.
Posthumously, he did get venerated, though.
Yeah, they did.
I think posthumously he did get.
Well, because eventually they started washing their freaking hands and realized,
Oh my
this
goodness.
actually does lower the rate of our
Mortality
patients'
rate's gone
deaths.
down, way down. Wasn't
Yeah.
it Florence Nightingale who really pushed for that? Super. I know
I
my
think
limits.
that's his name.
Super.
I
His.
I think that might be close to his name. I think that might be
No,
tangential.
I'm talking about the person who really popularized it well after this person's time, which I think was Florence Nightingale.
Oh, yeah.
Super, don't quote me on that. Super, don't quote me on that.
It was one of them.
Yeah. I know my limits.
Mm-hmm.
I know my limits. I'll be very pleasantly surprised if I'm right, though. I tend to bat pretty high. We'll see. But yeah, he would fully be that kind of doctor, fully fit in with it.
Yeah.
And
No, you can't tell me to wash my hands. I'm not dirty. I'm like an educated, rich individual.
Well, he doesn't mean harm. He just genuinely does want to fix the pestilence. He doesn't need to eat. He doesn't need to drink. They've stolen his notebook and read through it. Not in any language you can make any heads or tails of. They have sent linguists. They have sent code breakers. Nobody knows what that book says.
Yeah.
At all. It is utterly and fully non-human.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just patterns?
We're not sure.
It's something.
Yep, it's something. And unfortunately, he has since not been allowed to really talk to and interact with people, so he's not gotten much more out of this, because him and the good doctor he'd been building up rapport with, who'd been interviewing him and learning more about the plague doctor. Well, one day, this doctor named Dr. Ham walks in to continue this rapport, and our resident plague doctor's real agitated.
You have the ick. I need to fix it. You have the ick. I need to fix it.
Yes, our doctor has contracted the pestilence, and he proceeds to fix it in Dr. Ham. Yep.
Well, this
And
is...
they could not stop him from doing his whole routine down to the reanimation portion. Yep.
Well, this is just unfortunate for Dr. Ham.
And so that doctor's gone, and our plague doctor cannot interact with anyone else. Period. Ever. Nope, nope, nope.
Nope.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. He lost his,
And
like...
they took away some of his medical tools, too.
Yeah. Well,
So-
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
He
yeah.
did just eviscerate one of their doctors.
Yeah. But, you know, for science, the best ones.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be explained, maybe it won't. But
Listen, the cure, it worked.
I do quite like him because he is very, very human in a way most SCPs aren't, just because they're anomalies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you anthropomorphize the doodad that can make random things happen? That doesn't narrow it down at all.
No.
I was talking about Clockworks,
Okay.
which is just, remember that one? Where you put anything in, you give it a couple of different settings,
Oh, that one, yeah. Yeah.
and it comes out in an entirely different format. Super duper fun. It's super duper funny. I love that so much. But yeah, next up is 701, The Hanged King's Tragedy.
Okay.
And this one is an okay play.
Like, the
Yeah.
entire entity is a play happening in front of your
The
eyes?
Hanged King's Tragedy is a play that is both... It's super easy to contain because it's just like most of these recording-based or written-based things are not actively trying to get you, so you know it's super duper simple. But also it's hard because information hazards. Like just think about the old adage: nothing. You can't delete anything from the internet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like once it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
And imagine
The internet, it's forever.
And I imagine a whole play that you see the problems that the Foundation has containing this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. This becomes like just a mimetic hazard.
Especially since it's been around since the 1640s.
Oh, so people just like...
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard about this play?
Yeah, sometimes it's floppy disks, sometimes it's VHS tapes, sometimes it's burnt DVDs, sometimes it's like a YouTube video will come
Is
up.
this like literally like the Ring circa 1700 that they need to keep under wraps?
Not quite.
Like a version of the Ring that you can read from a printing press?
Here's the thing about it. There's nothing wrong with watching it, per se. It's performing it where things get dicey.
Do you feel compelled to perform this after reading a screenplay or watching it?
No, not really. It's just it's a kind of play that is great for high schools. Like it's that level of like there's enough drama here. It's like Shakespeare-y, but not quite. It's like schlocky Shakespeare. It's like, you know, the kind of stuff that high schools absolutely love to play.
Yeah.
And so like 2/3 of the time, it's just an okay play. Nothing happens. That is it. End of story. Fin.
What about that last third?
Um,
2/3 leaves a full third of room for something weird to happen.
what happens a third time is the reason why every single copy must be rounded up and then locked up with 3 different people's approval for you to get into it. Because 1/3 of the time, well, it's called the Hanged King's.
Oh, they
Tragedy.
actually feature on stage.
Yeah, this one's gonna be rough because all the omnissiah has things they like and don't like.
Yeah.
And there's almost no way I can describe what happens. But
This is like a high school play where they do Romeo and Juliet, but like they actually go through
it goes
with the action at the end. It's not an act.
you would think so, but no, it's a lot meaner than that actually.
Oh, that's frightening.
Yeah, it is. Everybody goes like violently insane, and like, you know, we understand what's called the Hanged King's Tragedy as like that'll just happen from the ceiling constantly as everyone is losing their minds. And what is it? I'm trying to remember what it was. There's this like there's this movie with like a frequency that plays, and anyone who hears it just goes hog wild.
Are you thinking of Kingsman?
How did I forget?
Yeah.
Do you remember the church scene from Kingsman?
I do remember the church scene.
That happening at a high school play.
Oh well, wow. Wowie.
Yeah, imagine that happens the next time your high school is putting on Guys and Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the barbershop scenes get a lot more harrowing. And I didn't know you could even drown a man using barbicide, but here we are.
Yeah, instead of whatever is supposed to be being sung during that part, Freebird starts playing.
Yeah. It's really rough, and anyone who happens to be survived, that's all you can get away with. That's all you can do.
Oh.
Yep. Anyone who survives has to be immediately restrained and just basically Men in Black flashbanged until they forget. Like however many times we got to show you this pen is how many times it's going to take for you to forget you had a kid and he was at a musical and there was a whole high school there at some point. And if that does not work out, I mean, they just inter them like psychotics.
Yeah.
Or they're just catatonic after such a harrowing experience.
Yeah. That'd do it to you.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Officer. Freebird was playing, please.
Well, I mean, they won't. The best case is they don't remember it and just like everyone's
go on with their life.
Yeah, exactly. No, they go on with their lives.
But a bunch of people in their lives are missing.
No, they go on with their lives, and then like everyone's grandpa of a certain age, fortunate son plays, and they tense. You know. Like Freebird is playing. Yeah, they hear one of the numbers from Guys and Dolls.
Who put that on?
Who did that? Yeah. And so it is preventable. It is preventable. And this also applies to the audience too. It's not just everyone in the place. So anyone who watches this.
I figured.
Anyone who watches this joins in the chaos. You can tell because things just start happening right before the play, like in the last week when everything's getting together, because you didn't do theater in high school.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Well, I did that. Last week is horrible.
Why is the last week horrible?
It's like last minute preparations. It is just going over it. And what happens for this play, if you're getting the 1 in 3 terrible outcome,
I was in band all 4 years of high school, so I can kind of relate to that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like, why are we making these minor mistakes? Get your shit together.
Imagine instead of that minor mistakes, people start method acting and winging it. And improvising new lines, and they all sound ominous. And they all sound ominous, but critically fitting within this universe, within this play, full of all these fictional places and this king. Yep. And critically, when you call them on it, that's always the dialogue.
That was the line that's written on the card. Whatever
exactly.
And then they look at you funny, like you're the one who said something weird.
Yeah. That is exactly what happens. On opening night, you will begin to see, and especially as you get closer to opening night, you'll see more and more references to an ambassador to this mystical realm that this play takes place in. On opening night, you'll begin to see a very creepy figure, and it's kind of going to be the only figure you see when you're putting in the inserts for this. Just showing up randomly and then disappearing, and showing up and then disappearing, and nobody really acknowledges it. At first,
is just there.
Yeah,
just like man in a trench coat with a bowler hat.
Far creepier. Far creepier. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very, very, actually pretty creepy. I will not lie.
Okay.
And eventually, at the height of the play, the ambassador, who we're assuming that's the ambassador in the situation, shows up again, and everyone can see him, and the actors begin talking about how the king needs more tributes. And that's when the chaos starts.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. It does change from incident to incident. It's always bad. It's always bad. There's few survivors every single time. Lots of rope involved, like all the rigging on the stage. Yeah, it gets repurposed aggressively.
Yeah,
aggressively.
I mean that rigging is already deadly.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, like you will see actors being hoisted off in the least OSHA compliant way you can think.
Yeah.
It is not good. They've managed a couple of times to catch it before it goes into full tilt. But ideally, you don't want it. You don't even want it
ever happening. You catch it before the play even starts.
Yep. And the Foundation's gotten pretty good about containing it, only because we can begin to see some of these signs. And one of their best moments of stepping in was before it was aired on TV. Because that would have been terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what would have happened?
Who knows what would have happened?
Mm-hmm.
Its threat level varies because it is a very containable threat, but also if it ever does make it onto the internet,
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
like heaven help you if you ever see the wrong part of the play on TikTok. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. But also, they've kind of gotten it down to like an average. So it's like a couple hundred people every year die by this.
Yeah.
And compared to like most things they have to contain, that's a rounding error.
I mean, you just have one guy in the back of the office who's just constantly screening high schools for like this play's name, and just screening every single one of those plays. Like, you've now sent an agent to just keep an eye out.
Yep.
Are they saying weird stuff? Yeah, stop this.
Apparently, like the realm the play takes place in is a real thing that's kind of got like it's like Venice with all the carnival costumes, and it is where this hanged king resides, and also very probably where the Doctor is from.
Oh, really? Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like
It's of the time.
Yeah.
Venetian stuff happening.
A lot has happened there that we're gonna fully blow past because
Okay.
it could be its own episode.
This is a weird pocket dimension.
Yeah, it's
This is the kind of things you'd see if you walked through an Oblivion Gate.
yeah.
I'd say. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Next up is 354,
354.
the Red Pool. Oh, right, I forget you don't know this. Yeah, there's a mean lake somewhere.
Mean Lake.
Yeah, really, really. This one, I love the geographical ones because you can't contain them. You have to build the site around them.
Ah, I see.
And that leads to a lot of fun, such as the Infinite IKEA. We just have to lock that up now. So reroute a highway.
Can't let somebody else wander in that one.
So just turn the highway around and we'll be all good. This is a very similar one. It is a lake and it is red. Roll credits.
Okay.
Super simple.
Is there anything else about this that's
It has a whole site around it, and it is a fully staffed site meant to figure out why this is happening. It has slowly been more reinforced over time, getting 20-foot concrete walls and all kinds of firearms mounted all along it.
I have to imagine something deadly comes out of it.
Stuff keeps leaving the lake.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We don't know what the liquid is. That's the worst thing.
It's not water.
It's not water.
Okay.
It's not. We don't know.
It's not one of the four humors.
No, it's none of your humors.
Okay.
It's not Kool-Aid. It's just not even grape juice. Not even wine. We have no idea what it is. And we don't know how deep it is, and we think it's bottomless.
Well, that's frightening. Just a bottomless red lake in the middle of somewhere.
That's classified as Keter.
Oh, does the lake spread?
No. No, it just sits there. It actually didn't have Keter classification for the longest time until it kept escalating.
What do you mean by escalating? What escapes this lake?
Well, first it was a giant bat,
Okay.
which massacred everything there.
That's
Hence,
pretty bad.
Concrete walls and guns.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And then a bulletproof bear-sized echidna left. Yep. They had to put that down with napalm. That was a problem. And then there was just a black orb that just floated out and fired straight radiation at people. Yeah.
Okay, that's an escalation in Beast.
Yep.
Like, we start with a big red crowbat. That's not ideal, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And then we get like Knuckles the Echidna on steroids.
It's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. And then suddenly we get Ramiel from Evangelion.
Yep. And just stuff keeps popping up. Tentacles obviously have come up and tried to rip things out. Just stuff keeps... A bulletproof lizard man.
Sure.
Yeah. The lizard man was so dangerous they had to deploy Abel. As in Cain's brother Abel. That's a thing that exists in this universe.
Sure.
Yep.
I thought you meant The Weeknd.
We
and
covered...
Nope. What is The Weeknd going to do about that?
Drop an amazing album. I think that's all he can do at this point. We covered Cain in the last one. He's the calm one. Abel is very not. Abel is very not.
Yeah,
and
because Abel's the one who like rock.
yes, and he is used as a security measure, but a very, 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 very violent security measure.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to deploy that to deal with the lizard man, and it just keeps getting worse. Every day something new comes out. Well, not every day, but stuff just keeps leaving. Stuff just keeps leaving.
Sure.
There was a ice and fire line. That happened. That was just a thing.
A what?
Yep, an ice line and a magma line, and they started fighting. And then the magma one got the ice one, cooled off, and then they just became a statue. That is it. Like, the actual Terminator has left this pool.
Oh.
No joke.
Just a T-1000?
Yep.
Sure, why not?
And it could cloak a regular man left. That's it. It's just a person. They
Just
autopsy.
Paul?
Just a guy.
Oh,
Just
sure,
a
why
guy.
not?
Obviously, immediate brutal force.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, that was just a
That was
person.
just a person.
Yep. 8 months straight of this.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Just eight months straight of this. And they decided it's not worth it. They just leave it.
What do you mean by just leave it?
After 8 months, it seems to stop. So they're like, we can afford to start rolling back funding, you know? And when they do that, mysteriously, everyone on the site evacuates.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
To where?
Well, they send a task force to find out, and they find everyone is extremely hostile, and that task force vanished.
So they went in the lake.
Maybe.
So
Possibly.
they definitely went in the lake.
They detonated the nuke they had under it. Because, last measure of security.
It is a big nuke, yeah.
Still there. And that's how it got its classification.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did it just like reform into the crater the nuke left?
I don't
Or are we
know.
talking like Minecraft blocks? They blew the land around it up and now there's this floating like bowl-shaped red lake in the middle of nowhere.
It utterly unaffected almost.
Okay.
Utterly unaffected of it. Since then, new methods have been attempted that are a little bit more calm in nature, such as, but not limited to, let's drain it.
To where?
Let's drain it.
To
Let's just
where?
Try draining it. And when they tried to drain it, all of them were hit with immense psychic pressure.
Don't do that.
Yep, and that is when one person who survived that went, the lake is alive, it is growing, and mad. To which everyone goes, yeah, right, buddy, you just lived through the pump incident, moving on. And finally, they did send a submarine down to see
What's in there?
what's in there. And that is a whole, very well-written story with a lot happening that I can't do justice without its own episode.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to like a mirror dimension.
Cool.
And all kinds of fun stuff happens there.
It's fun.
It's got a 43-hour day, huge red sun. There's this weird moss everywhere, and it's a completely barren.
So they found the upside down.
It feels like they found the upside down. That's the best way
They
to
found the
describe it.
upside down at the bottom of an angry red lake.
Yep, whenever you're not looking, trees like move towards you. Yeah, that's just a thing that happens there.
Don't like that.
Yep, slowly each member of the crew starts vanishing, and the data becomes more and more corrupted.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure.
This is a submarine they had to send down with a drill, by the way, because the deeper you get, the denser it becomes. Eventually, you just have to like
drill through the liquid.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Not frightening at all.
Not frightening at all.
No.
And we have the logs of that, and it's very well written. And the best part is they didn't send anyone down there.
What do you mean by that?
I told you, we haven't found the bottom of this lake yet. They didn't send anybody down there. They didn't build a submarine. They didn't approve any D-class personnel to go down there.
It just kind of appeared?
That log just popped out of it one day.
Oh.
Yep. Yep.
Well, that's odd.
And none of the D-class personnel in that file exist in any records.
So this is weird timey-wimey things are happening.
Something terrible's happening. Yep.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what it means.
So that red lake is also a hole in time.
Maybe, possibly.
Very
it's super
cool.
fun. It's super fun. I want to do an episode on it. It's so bad. So bad. And from one that I really want to do an episode on to
To one where can we do an episode on it?
I'm thinking on it because I did want to do 5000.
Oh.
Because everyone was I'm not alone. Everybody does seem to like 5000.
What is 5000?
It is a very, very... Okay, we'll briefly
We'll graze the surface of it.
It is a very fun story. The item itself, because it is an item, you know, it
It's a physical object?
is an exclusion suit.
A what?
Yep, that is it. It is an exclusion suit that comes with a bunch of data on it.
What is that?
It is a suit that is fully safe, actually. Fun fact. It is power armor that the Foundation at some point apparently created, and it works in the best kind of way where it stealths you. Not like you're invisible, but more nobody can like focus on and see you.
It's like advanced dazzle camo.
Yeah, exactly. And it can record your thoughts, so that's how you leave logs. It is mildly serviceable and self-repairable, and kind of negates the need for food or water.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a lot of good things in one thing.
Right, and it just popped in a flash of light in the middle of a facility one day.
Sure, why not?
Yep.
And we just trusted it?
I mean, it's kind of broken beyond use.
Oh. So we're not using it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's at least good. I wouldn't trust a suit that randomly popped in the middle of my house either.
But we can read the recordings.
Okay.
And in it, we read about a person who does exist in like the main timeline, but this is an alternate version of him. And he's the narrator as he goes through this. And he's a perfectly normal technician working on an exclusionary site ways, and out of nowhere, a task force arrives from, one of the bigger sites and just starts wiping out everyone for no discernible reason. Like they had the perfect identification. They walked in. They didn't take their masks off and reveal we're mustache-twirling villains. Nope. These are actual employees. 401ks match and everything.
And they were just, their job was, hey, actually annihilate this other task group.
Thankfully, our protagonist found this suit, put it on, and it spared him from
all of that.
Yeah, from all of that. But this allowed him to observe them, and this is how he found out that these are not infiltrators or insurgents. These are just employees.
The company said,
because they did it in an orderly manner. And so he's like, well, I have to figure out what's going on here, and I have to let everyone know. So he goes to a safe house, and while he's going there, you can hear like explosions going off and just horrible things happening everywhere. And he's like, doesn't matter. It's okay. If I can get to the safe house, I can let everyone know that we have like a rogue cell, effectively. Like they've gone bad. They were one of us, but now they've gone fully evil, and we need to deal with that.
Yeah.
And he opens up his inbox, and he finds an email, basically, sent to everyone. And it's one of the scariest images on the entire wiki. It is super duper simple. It is just the following message is composed via consensus of the O5 Council. Those are the people in charge of everything within the Foundation. For those of you who are not aware of our existence, we represent the Foundation, and our previous mission centered around containing and studying anomalous objects, entities, and other assorted phenomena. This mission was a focus for our organization for more than 100 years. Due to circumstances outside of our control, our directive has now changed. Our new mission will be the extermination of the human race. There will be no further communication.
Oh, cool.
And things go off the rails from there. Yeah.
Sure.
So remember we mentioned like the Leviathan SCP, that massive thing under the ocean that's, thank God, asleep. And heaven help it if it ever moves, even, because that would cause massive tsunamis and earthquakes. And
because it's just that big.
if it breaches, we have like almost a continent at war, effectively. They detonate nukes on its back to try and wake it up. Yeah.
Does it work?
No, thankfully it just stirs.
It just shifts in its sleep a little bit.
Lots of earthquakes, lots of tsunamis, and this
Itchy.
and this entire time, this guy's just in this exclusion suit, basically watching the news feeds turn into horror. Remember that hard to kill reptile that's mad at everything?
They let it go.
They let it loose. They fully let it loose, and it's just running through every single thing we've covered.
This is the worst timeline.
This is a terrible timeline.
This is the worst timeline.
So much terrible stuff happens, and for the longest time, he does not know why they're doing this. And it all seems legit. And the entire time, the radio is also playing cryptic messages to this poor guy as he's just attempting to piece together what's happening.
So obviously the Foundation has been taken over by some form of eldritch being.
Yep. And I cannot do this story justice by like blitzkrieging through it, because there's so many things they let out. There's one thing they do, they just live stream Shy Guy's face. Just everywhere. They just put it up all over the internet. Like on CNN, it flashes for a second, and that's just a problem now. If you don't remember Shy Guy, that's a thing. Or if you see its face, it beelines it mock Jesus at you to rip you apart.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like tweet his face. Face reveal. That's it. They create soldiers with... Do you know that? Remember that one statue with the weeping angels thing going on?
Yeah.
Where you have to look directly at it, or it'll snap your neck the moment you turn around? Whole army of soldiers with that. You have to directly stare at an entire army. Every single person there, gone. There's so many things.
This is the timeline where the Foundation just goes full evil and uses every tool it's contained.
Yep. We don't know what is going on, but at some point he gets a briefcase and he has this feeling that he should deliver that briefcase somewhere, and it has 55 in it, so he has no idea what's inside the briefcase and why it needs to go somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's just, you see the problem? Like, it gets so wearing on him. He just starts opening it to forget. Yeah. It's so bad. There's so much.
What did they do to 999? Please tell me 999 is okay.
There's so much going on. It's solo written. It has great art. 5000 has to be its own episode, or go read it. It's good.
Yeah, I think I might go read it after this.
You're not allowed to. They are.
Well, that's a shame.
You can't.
That's a shame.
But it's so good, and this just keeps on happening. People try and resist. Obviously, they build up fortifications. They attempt to do things.
But this is also an organization that had the hard to destroy lizard under its.
Yeah.
I'd imagine the hard to destroy lizard also knows that it's hard to destroy and will just batter down whatever walls you build.
As well as mirror monsters, a bunch of serial killer teddy bears, literal wendigos. So it's real rough for humanity.
Sure.
It is a very, very, very rough for humanity.
This is the worst timeline for them.
Yeah, but I absolutely love it. It is super well.
The Eldritch Horror Organization took all of its Eldritch Horrors and used them to their fullest extent to get you.
Specifically. And that brings us to the last one today. Mm-hmm. One that everyone wanted me to cover. It was the most requested. By leaps and bounds.
Which one?
3973. Would you like a reroll?
A reroll?
Yep. It is, I kid you not, tiny ultramarine figurine. I'm not joking. I will find a way to make it into every single episode. I am inescapable. It is a tiny ultramarine figurine, painted pretty well, and it was found by the staff on one of their off days, just at a wargaming tournament, whatever, and it was found after a guy was kicked out and left it on the table for rolling nothing but nat 20s. This is a guy who showed up to a tournament with ultramarines and proceeded to whoop. Like, clearly his dice are weighted. Mm-hmm. Clearly.
It's the weighted dice figure.
Yeah, we're going to refer to him as Brother Cheetacus from now on. For very obvious reasons. The Foundation guy finds these figurines and, like, gonna take them home with me. They're perfectly fine, And He keeps it in a tiny little terrarium with all the... You've seen these before, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you just in like a nice little acrylic container with all your other figurines. Maybe you do like a whole scene. Maybe you just have them organized. Either way,
if you're fancy, you've got the box with the magnets, and you put the magnets in the bases of your minis. So.
I know someone who organizes... He has Tyranids and Custodes, so one very expensive army and one pretty cost-effective army. And he has them organized in battle. And it's so cool.
Okay, that's really cool.
It's so cool. It takes a while.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
And unpacking takes a while. But it's so worth it. But anyway, it's just stored away like you do with most other things. And it is only later when they figure out he might be sentient.
Sentient.
I mean, it's 40K, man. You got to throw a cuss or at the end of everything.
An eum.
And so the way they figured this out is every single dice they rolled within 50 centimeters of him was always a 1. Just one after one after one. They flipped a coin, it landed vertically. And so they're like, okay. So they classify whatever this is as an anomaly. And they're like, okay, cool. If you're sentient, make it land on this number. If you're not, just don't, you know? And they figured out like a way to communicate using yeses and nos using dice because very, 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 very doable. And so that's how they figure things out. And they every single time they roll, they make sure it's not a coincidence.
So they roll twice.
So they roll multiple times. And they come to the realization, oh my God, I've locked a sentient creature in an acrylic box for a while.
I should probably let it out.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
Yep. And so they let it out and they build up a language with this thing. And it is so fun because it seems to actually think it's a real Space Marine in 40K. It refers to its owner as its commander. Its carrying case is a drop pod. He talks about how his squad isn't as smart as he is, but he likes them anyway. And like his commander made them the men that they are today. And he was only helping them by rolling the highest rolls possible.
Oh, this is entertaining.
Yep. And by the time he figured out what the problem was, you know, like I can't just give them the highest rolls at all times. Everyone seems to get mad. So he started giving them the lowest rolls possible at all times, which then got his commander kicked out of the tournament, leaving him and his brothers behind. Yeah. It's like if Toy Story could affect the rolls around it.
That's
ugh. Yep. And that's it. That is literally it.
Just the sentient ultramarine.
Yep. I want it so badly.
You could already own it and not be sure.
Honestly, I've never rolled the dice around Gilliman. It could be Brother Cheetahkiss in disguise.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he'd ask you to file the proper paperwork first.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, Gilliman does show up in our live streams every so often, and he does judge us for that. Yeah.
But that does bring an end to this episode. What do you think?
You really find a way to stick an ultramarine in literally everything.
They're very relevant. They're very relevant.
Honestly, you've made me want to read about the 5000 story. I know I'm not allowed to, but no, I want to. That's a shame.
So good. Because it's like I don't want to I want to talk about it.
I can't read it until we release the video on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. It's good though.
Demand the video.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week for a video on one of the 4 options.
Yeah.
The
poll's been cooking. It's been
the poll's been cooking. We can see the options. It looks like Octarius is going to win, but you guys could change your minds. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for being you.